Afternoon, everybody. Today we're talking tools. Tools. Alright, so we're going to go over some of the tools, how they work, and the comparison between certain tools. So to start off, this server's set to 2 times, which is equivalent to most servers on weekends when we're talking about officials. That's console and PC. As well, the server has it so if the tool's a little better, you will get better yields. That's quite common, but if it's not the case on your server, you would have to discuss that with your private server owner. On officials, though, it does work like that. So just a base for the scale, and this can vary a little bit depending on the tool's quality or melee damage. Your primitive tool is a 1 times. Your ramshackle is a 1.25. Your apprentice is a 2.5. Journeyman at 4.5. Mastercraft at 7. And ascendant at 10. So let's quick talk about our stone pick. The stone pick, and you know, you're going to want to go ahead and get metal tools as soon as possible. Your metal pick only costs 1 metal. That'll allow you to get metal from stone, which will allow you to build your hatchet, you know, even your crossbow and your pike if you have to. And that comes from stone nearby. You don't necessarily need a metal source for that. So our stone pick, when it hits a tree, it's going to get more thatch than wood. It does get a little, okay? That's pretty obvious to most people, but hey, in case you don't know, now you know. Let's check out our stone hatchet. Well, it gets more wood than thatch. Okay, so when you need thatch, you get your pick. When you need wood, you get your hatchet. Moving on to the rock over here. Our stone pick gets more flint than stone. Our stone hatchet gets more stone than flint. I don't think, unless something weird happens, that you'll ever get a piece of metal using the stone pick. However, with the metal pick, even on primitive, there we go, we start to get a little bit of metal. And that's usually your beginner metal if you don't happen to be close to a node. That depends what map you're on. Sometimes nodes are a little easier to find. So those cover, you know, and the same thing applies on the basics, right? We're going to get more thatch. And with this, we're going to get some more wood. Okay, 23 to 5 there. Now, when we get out one of the big boys here, this is a Mastercraft, we see with 1 strike, we get a significantly more thatch. Okay, we got 62 total out of 2 strikes there. Let's try out an Ascendant level hatchet. Significantly more wood. 58 on 2 strikes than your basic. Okay, so metal's better. That's the bottom line. Now, so we're going to just skip right past the stone stuff because odds are hopefully you're only using it for the beginning. The big issue there is durability. You're going to be repairing it all the time. Whereas with the metal stuff, you can repair it less. And if you happen to have an Argent with you, it's got a smithy right in it. I mean, you can't go wrong. You're definitely going to be wanting to use the metal tools. Let's move on just briefly before we start talking about what each one is specifically good for. Is our good old sickle. The sickle on the island really only yields fiber from here. Okay, now we see 150. Let's do 1 strike here just to give you a comparison. This is a primitive one. 33 fiber. Let's whip up the old Ascendant. 84. Okay, so getting those better level tools, you can sometimes pick them up from the early drops, can really reduce the load or the workload you're doing, especially before you have the dinos. Now there's a reason to have my sniper. Hopefully we can find something here. We were hoping to find a little megalodon. The one thing a lot of people don't know about the sickle is it is the #1 tool for raw prime fish meat. So if you're taming your baryonyx, or you're taming something that wants raw prime, and I don't think we're going to happily, by luck, catch a megalodon here. But if you're taming something that needs raw prime fish meat, oddly enough, and not a lot of people know it, the best tool for that's going to be your sickle. So it's obviously good for fiber, especially when you're maybe working on a saddle or an item that requires a high amount of fiber. It's going to be a lot easier to pick that with the sickle. But as well, when you knock out your first baryonyx, yes, you'll get some raw prime from the pick. You might get a little raw prime from the hatchet, but not as much as that metal sickle, so get it out. Now the metal sickle also has some extra stuff, and I guess this is the devs, when they released Scorched Earth and Aberration, they wanted to give the metal sickle a little more play. On Scorched Earth, your metal sickle is good for small cacti and silk plants. On Aberration, it's great for mushroom patches, the beige ones, red-capped mushroom patches, the aquatic mushroom, and the Aggeravic mushroom, or Aggeravic, however you say it. So it's pretty great in the patches over there. Here it doesn't really pick up berries, but it will, I believe, pick up berries on Scorched Earth, so you might want to check that out. You know, the island was one of the earlier maps, and I guess they didn't kind of balance out that tool. They instead just improved it for its use on the other maps that have been created. However, that Sickle, again, remember, is great for raw prime fish meat. Now, let's move along and talk a little bit about what each one kind of does best, okay? So first we'll start with the stone hatchet. It has the highest rating, we'll start with the, stone hatchet. My bad. I'm sorry, guys. Let's start off with our metal pick. Metal pick has the highest rating for Keratin, okay? Your metal hatchet has the highest rating for chitin. Your metal pick has the highest rating for flint. Your metal hatchet has the highest rating for wood. If you want to get pelt, use your metal hatchet, okay? If you want to get raw fish meat and you don't have your sickle, you're better off with the metal pick. Same applies to raw prime fish meat. You're a little better off with the metal pick. The metal hatchet is better for angler gel. The metal pick gets you metal. Your hatchet, I don't think, will ever yield any, so bear that in mind. Raw salt, you're going to be better off with the metal pick. Oil, you're better off with the metal pick. Sulfur, you're better off with the metal pick. Raw prime fish meat, you're better off with the metal pick. The hatchet comes in at 2 on regular raw meat. So if you're trying to get meat for a tame, whether it's raw prime fish, or just meat, you're better off with that pick. Sulfur, you're going to be better off with the pick again. You're catching the theme here, right? The pick's kind of your go-to weapon, or melee tool. Obsidian, better off again with the pick. Your metal hatchet, though, is great for leech blood, wood, chitin, pelt, and hide, as well as angler gel and sand. Of course, stone, okay, and that's about it. Okay, leech blood, wood, chitin, pelt, hide, angler gel, sand, and stone. It has a low rating for raw meat, and the ratings are so low on the other things they're not worth talking about. Your metal pick, you're going to want to have keratin, flint, crystal, raw fish meat, raw prime fish meat, raw meat, thatch, raw salt, metal, oil, sulfur, obsidian, and sand. You're better with the hatchet again. Raw prime, better with the pick. Okay, that sums it up, guys. If you have any questions, just post it up in a comment. That's what I've learned about using all the different tools. So if you need anything else, just let me know. I'm always live. I'm always around. My streams are really based around just chat. I do play, of course, while I do them, but I do a lot of yapping. So you're always welcome to join those if you got any questions or you just want to hang out. I do it mostly on Twitch, but a little bit of YouTube Live once in a while too. And if you like what I do, make sure you hit the little bell next to the subscribe button. That way it'll give you a notification. If you want to play on my server, which is not this one, I use this one just for testing and tutorials, so I'm not bothered by people or, having people fly around, punch me out and say hello. You just add me on Steam. The link's there in the thing. Okay? You guys have yourself a great day, and we'll see you next time.